A very good afternoon and welcome back once again to Bonita Media. As usual, my name is Boniface Owino, and today I'm very glad to have engineer. I'll give him time to introduce himself, but I felt like there is a story that he was sharing and that he shared, and in fact it was captured on Standard, and that is why at least I say that he can share this story to change the lives of a lot of people. This is away from politics. This interview is away from politics. You know, we are used to politics every now and then, but I felt like, no, let us at least go outside politics for a little bit, so that people can learn the challenges that people are facing. And I'm very glad to have engineer here. I want to give him time to at least say hi, tell us more about himself, and then we come back to get into the topic.
Okay.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Bonnie, for having me this afternoon.
Yeah.
Actually, my name, as you have said, is the title engineer.
Yeah.
My name is Ruben Onunga. Actually, I'm an engineer by profession. I've been practicing engineering now for the last 20 years. And I've also traveled widely. I work now in 8 countries, but now I'm in Kenya. So I'm handling some projects now here in Kenya, in Thika, Githunguri. We just finished Nakuru and supporting some other community projects. Yes.
That's good. That's a very good foundation. Now, before we get into what I want us to talk about, engineer, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like before we focus on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I was born and bred in Rarieda constituency, that is in Siaya County, and I went to school, primary and up to secondary school in the village, and then joined University of Nairobi, where I pursued a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, and then later on started a master's where I'm now specializing in water and sanitation. So, and then now I've been working in Nairobi and out of Kenya. So basically that is it in terms of education and career. I'm a family man. I'm married. I have 3 children. They are grown-ups. The first one is 14 years, 12, and 6 years. So basically that is in terms of family. And I also do other things. We have now reached a stage in life where you want to give back. And now we are reaching out to give back to the community who helped me, especially in my education. I grew up actually supported by a compassion program. In today's time, you may say I was raised in an orphanage. But ours, it was home-based. So we are trying also to mobilize all the children who went through compassion program to be able to go back and assist other kids who are vulnerable and going through difficult time. Especially targeting the area of education, because as we know, education is an equalizer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I am who I am today, because of education. We also have alumni activities in the schools I went to, like Nyagoko Secondary School in Siaya County, where I was the pioneer. Now we have other younger people who have taken over. We are also looking at general upcoming leaders in the community through mentorship program. I am lucky to have been talented all around. So I try to advise these young men on matters, social life, family, finance, education, career, and even politics to some extent, because actually at one point I also had some interest in politics. Yes.
Now I think now we can get into why we want to do this interview. Yeah, I want you to share the story. I think on page 8.
Health pull out
on Monday this week.
Yes.
There is something that you say that how Nairobi. Okay, for those who maybe the people who don't read the newspapers, you know, they don't know what is in it. So when I saw this, I said that okay, being that I know you, at least you can come and tell us the challenges, because these are the things that people go through.
Yes.
And as we were saying before, that you know there are some of these things that we might be passing through. Maybe we think that they are spiritual.
Yes.
Yet they are not spiritual.
They are mental.
Yeah, they are mental. There's something that are not even spiritual. Sometimes you can seek prayers. You look for a pastor to pray for you.
Yes.
Yet what you want a pastor to pray for you is not even something to do with spiritual.
Yes.
Now, like like this one of yours, when I was reading it, I found that at one point people were thinking that it is spiritual, you even went for prayers.
Yes.
But you eventually realized that it is not about prayers. Now, can you tell us about, because it says that how an Nairobian man, a bit bipolar, reclaiming his life.
Exactly.
Here you are.
As you can see, it's a reclaimed life.
Yeah, it's a reclaimed life.
I'm restored. I'm normal. Actually, I thank God that I encountered this mental health breakdown due to some life pressure, work pressure, and some of my ambitions at that time, including getting into politics. And this is very common with those people who go into politics. That if you are not psychologically prepared, the pressure of politics can really bring you down mentally. And some people, so that you don't even start.
Okay.
But some people go through the entire process, but they lose. And again, that election loss can really bring you down mentally.
So you go through the entire election process?
Yes.
And then you lose?
Expecting to win.
Oh, expecting to win.
So because of the disappointment, the loss of resources.
You spend money.
Exactly. Yeah. So then you don't know where to start, you get. So this can really bring people down. So for my case, I just was at the beginning.
Okay, you wanted to start the journey of politics.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it just happened that I was also working. There were also family pressure, business pressure, and I was young. So because of all this, I was not able to cope with all the demands of that time. And then what happens in a mental health situation is that when your brain realizes that you cannot handle the pressure, it switches to safe mode. To save you, otherwise it will explode.
It switches to safe mode.
Yes. Because
so now the safe mode is now this one.
Is where now people see that now you are sick. Because in safe mode you just feel you are in control and nothing is stressing you. It's like you are in heaven.
Yet you are really suffering.
Yes, that you are really suffering. It's a happy place. It's a happy place, in quotes. So everything, the way the brain interprets it, the brain suppresses its components that interpret things as bad. So everything bad looks good to you.
So let me ask you, engineer. You've said that if your brain compresses a lot of pressure, has a lot of pressure, and then it realizes that it cannot contain everything,
it has to.
It switches.
It switches to safe mode.
Now the safe mode is whereby now you feel like everything is okay.
Everything is okay. But the problem is that you get into another worldview. You get. It's a worldview where you are in control.
You are in control. You
because
yourself.
When you are in stress, you are not in control. You get. So suppress this stress. These roles have to be reversed to put you in a place where you feel you are in control. And then now you are comfortable. You stop worrying about money. You can feel now you are rich, you own the whole world. So then if it was money that was stressing you, you will not think about money anymore. So that's an example. You get. If it is family, you may even feel like you are now already in heaven and there's no marriage, so family is not an issue again. So because of the upbringing and the information that the brain has been accumulating, it can be able to create a story out of it that the brain knows you always enjoy that line of story, and then it takes you to that mode.
It takes you to the story, the story that you enjoy.
Yes.
Now you feel comfortable there.
You feel comfortable. Unfortunately, the normal people will realize something is wrong with you. You get.
Like now in this your case, your friends realize that
exactly that something is not wrong. I was posting on Facebook, things that now in my worldview where I am.
Now you think that you're saying that these are just okay.
Yes. For example, I may just feel in this age of technology that I can communicate to you without a phone. I just feel I'm talking with you. So I can post such kind of things, and people say this is crazy. Or you can say, I was just walking along the street and I met Jesus there. Those kind of out of the world things.
You say things that people don't expect.
Yes. So if it goes to that level, then people who always know you, they will realize something is wrong. And this is the time when you are taken to hospital. There are a series of tests they do. Because before you are put on any medication, they have to ascertain what's going on. So these psychiatrist clinics, they will do tests on you and then they will confirm that you are indeed not okay and what are you suffering from. They call the consultant doctors because there are very few, by the way, who are handling this. And then you begin your medication. So if you are lucky, they put you in a mode where you rest enough, the brain calms down and you begin to gather and regather your previous worldview, the normal one.
Now,
Yes.
when these things started, how, okay, can you try to explain how it started? Because maybe there's somebody that might be going through that and has not realized that it is a bipolar thing. How did it
Yes.
start, like, for you as?
Yes. So bipolar is characterized by a lot of mood swings, extremes of good moods and bad moods, low and high.
Okay.
So basically this means that I can be laughing with you now, and there's another time you look for me, and I'm not in the mood of talking with you, for example. You get? So now when it is active, then it's when that you are in that worldview. You have already switched. So what happens is that you can be easily triggered if you're somebody who have this kind of emotional mood swings. Okay, you can be easily triggered. So when before you are triggered, you are okay. You are in this normal world. You have normal mood swings. But if it is triggered by extreme stress, then your brain has to see how to sustain you. So that's when you will switch to the other worldview, where you feel you are safe and in control. But before you are triggered, this stress creates a situation where you become very anxious just before you switch. Okay, so that anxiety is what, if you know, like I now know, when I feel that anxiety, I get rid of that anxiety. That is why I said in the second episode I suffered. I even went to buy some antidepressants.
Because you already known.
I knew something here is coming. I also started seeing those patterns of numbers. Because your brain gets in a frequency where you are really processing a lot of things. Numbers, you begin to interpret what numbers means. You see a lot of patterns. Okay? You kind of become very sharp in identifying some patterns. So when you begin to notice that you're becoming a little bit too clever, then you should know that, see, I'm sliding into that kind of situation, and I need to take action. So that is what happened to me. Unfortunately, I had never experienced this before. Later, I learned that one of my grandmother actually suffered mental health issues. So doctors also say that it is common that if you trace back, you will find somebody had these mental health issues. So with the time, I came to realize that this could have been contributing factors. But at that time, I didn't know. So then I just had to be carried away. Because it feels a good experience that time. But the problem is getting out.
No, the problem is getting
out is a big problem.
I realized when I was reading this article, I realized that there are two things here. Number one, just the way you said, there is a situation, like now this one of yours, we can say that it was like you inherited from the grandmother. We can let us just say that is one of the options. Another thing that is now common is you find that a lot of people, a lot of young men are using the drugs and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it? What can make young men avoid these things? Because it can drive you to now. This one of yours you realized early, and it was very easy and safe for you to get out.
Yes, as you have said, that hereditary aspect of it, many people may be having it, but it is dormant. So what we need to avoid are extremities. For example, those drugs, they take you to extreme. If you are even over-religious, you are in another extreme. If you are too academic also, unasoma sana, you read too much, also that's another extreme. So when you are in those extremes, you are on the edge. You can easily slide. Yes, so that is what people need to be cautious about. Not being extreme. Live a balanced life. So whatever conditions you have in your body is in a condition where it can manage them for you. So you will not even be aware that maybe you are a carrier of something that could have turned out traumatic. But your body contained it.
How in your first section, in the first experience, let us before we talk about the second, the first episode, how was it a challenge to you and maybe in the family and people that were around you? How did your body react? Maybe were you violent?
No, there were financial issues first of all. What caused it? Financial issues. My companies were going down. I was being auctioned. Then I was now getting into politics. I was premature for that. There was a lot of pressure. Then there were also family issues. There were some family strains that we had. So if you put all these things together, then the brain cannot contain it. You get. So at this point, I began to feel very desperate. And because I'm also very religious, and that is also what helped me to recover, you know, faith and nutrition. Those are the two things that helped me to recover. Okay, because faith helped me to have hope that no, I'll be okay, and nutrition helped clean my system when I become 100% vegetarian and then vegan. Okay, so that moment I begin to feel desperate, and then the brain begin to think that, but you always have a God who nothing is impossible with him. The brain start telling you like that. Because I'm extreme in faith, that faith element comes to solve that desperation. The brain is beginning now to manipulate me.
You have a God who solves everything.
Yes. So at that time, I even look at the sky and feel like I can talk to God. You know, my Father, nothing is impossible with you. Can you come and solve this problem? Okay. So you can switch like that. If it is somebody mwenye amesoma sana, you're very academic, then when you are in big problem, you begin to see that in academics you have some formulas you can calculate to solve a problem. You get? And then you also begin to start doing now your mathematical calculations.
You calculate.
People see you calculating things in the streets and things like that. Okay? So for me, what happened, an episode or a story created itself about Jesus. You know, I took the persona I was suffering with Christ. So I felt like what I'm going through, at the end of it, I will win, I will be rewarded. But now these things, by the way, they play in your brain even when you are sedated, when you are sleeping. The dream is like a dream, is just going on. So if you are, for me, I took that persona of Jesus, I felt even I'm now being on the road to the cross, carrying the cross, being whipped, you know, I go through all that pain and I feel it.
So you saw that you're suffering like Christ.
Exactly, like I have took his person. You understand? Yeah, I took his person. So because I was over religious, you understand? You know, I was involved a lot in Christian Union in high school, in the university. I was so much involved at the University of Nairobi Christian Union. Then even at the church, I was an elder. So I was even a leader of prayers. You know, prayers are deep things, intercession, fasting. So you go too deep. So that is the worldview that is predominant in your brain. And that is where the brain will select. It does a calculation and say, this is the safe place for this guy where he always feels comfortable and hopeful.
So what made you, in the first episode, how did you realize that you were coming out of it?
It took time, actually, because first of all, you are sedated, and then when you wake up, people are coming to visit you, you are just still telling them those stories.
You are in your own world.
Yes. And then medication are very strong, they clear your brain, they try to stabilize you, and then with time you begin to realize I'm in an hospital, or I'm seeing somebody I know. So like that, and then when you continue with medication at home, even because I was in hospital for only 4 days and discharged. Then when you're at home, continue with medication, you just continue with those funny things, but now mild. Like me, I wrote a whole book during the 1 month I was at
during
home
that 1 month?
For medication, just writing a whole book about my life, you see. So you will spiral in that frequency, continue as your brain clears slowly. And maybe up to 6 months, I can say you need to begin to clear your mind properly and begin to see that something is wrong with me. And you know, as somebody who has been very intelligent, I was very good in mathematics, I've studied university, I've in religion, my brain begin to look for answers to these questions in my brain.
Now you are looking for the answers.
Yes. Even after you have been discharged from hospital, you look for answers to what could these things be meaning? What did I experience? Now you start recalling, why did I see myself maybe in another country and I was here? You know, so you begin to do a lot of research. So mine was about religion. I was carried into a world of religion. So I started doing a lot of research even about Jesus.
Why did Jesus die?
Even to understand him. Who is he? You know, those thoughts begin to come. So you do a lot of research, and through this research, you will happen to consult somebody in that field. So me, I consulted one professor, Professor Odira, who is an elder in the Adventist church. And because he was my boss at work, and I was asking a lot of religious questions, and it happens that being grounded in the Bible, you know, Adventists, they read the Bible.
They read the Bible.
He began to align me on the truth and the things that I was misinterpreting, or things that I had been wrongly taught that I had to unlearn. You understand? So now through him, he got me out of that religious mix-up
Yeah.
by aligning me to the Adventist faith. You know, at least it doesn't matter whichever faith you are being aligned, but as long as somebody will help align you to one reality, then that reality brings your whole brain to a reality. You understand? So that was the hook that brought me out through religion. Then I was even baptized in Adventism.
Yeah.
And that time people were thinking I'm joining Adventism because I'm still sick.
I realized
They
that
doubted the decisions I am making
even
at that
it
time.
got problems with the family too.
So even me, I had to take time later to reconfirm whether do I really want to be in Adventism or I came here because I was sick.
Or you're still sick.
Until I confirmed that yes, I believe in the Adventist message and I want to remain here, even though my family they have the freedom to continue in the Sunday churches.
You didn't limit them.
I know. I'm very liberal. I don't limit my family. I don't interfere with people's conscience.
Yeah.
I let everybody be.
There is something that you said that when these things start, if at all this thing is starting, it looks for a story in your mind, and then it makes you venture into
that worldview. Yes.
Worldview. So if you are, let's say for example, the way you say that if you are a Christian, it hooks you there.
Yes.
Now there's something that I'm failing to understand. How is your how is the brain working to a point that now it realizes this is where now you want to drive you?
It depends on the knowledge you have accumulated in your life from upbringing, what you've been taught, the places. Like I see some people who are sick on the street here, they are controlling cars, like they have become traffic police. That is the worldview that the brain has taken.
Oh.
And they feel they have the power to stop the vehicles. And now, these are the things that can make even people die. Because if you take a worldview, that is risky. Like somebody can be told, you commit suicide so you can go to heaven. Many people commit suicide thinking that
they are going to heaven.
They are doing the right thing because your brain is just in a movie. You understand?
In a series.
You find you have died. Like in the second episode, I would have really died because some of the events that happened in my life risked me. I was walking along the road and things like that. Before now, my family found out something is wrong and get hold of me.
That is now the second episode.
The second one.
After the first, we are done with the first.
Yes, now this second I was prepared. So even when I'm on the road, I'm careful.
Because at least you already know.
This one was 50-50. Something is driving me, but I'm also fighting it. And then I was able to stay safe until I was rescued and taken to hospital. And I took very short time in hospital, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's
the second episode.
Second episode, you took how many? 1 month to recover? Was it 1 month?
For recovery, yes. I even traveled to China for business.
For business.
But even in all these trips, I'm going through Dubai. I was sent by government of Mozambique to go do some engineering work there. There's some products that were coming into Mozambique that I needed to go and inspect. So going through even to the factory, meeting people, I traveled also for enjoyment, also in China, to Shanghai, Disneyland. When I am there, some of the things even I saw there in Disneyland, some are, they are scary. My brain began to be afraid. And I interpret these things in the worldview that was in my mind instead of the reality. So I did not enjoy 100%. You get? Because like in the plane, also I had to take medication. I couldn't skip my medication because my medication was still going on. So I didn't have enough time to enjoy the reality. The medicine suppressed my brain to be able to enjoy the moments I spent in China for 10 days. But afterwards, I went to work in Mozambique for 2 years, and that gave me an opportunity for their solitude. I studied psychology. I was cut off from my normal environment here in Kenya, cut off from phone calls, I was in a complete new environment, new culture. And that gave my brain a challenge to recreate cells, to recreate ability to enjoy that new environment, to exist in that new environment. And that is when now I started watching also stories of other people who have gone through these things. A lot of celebrities have gone through these mental health challenges. And that is when I met this story that it's like you have a glass, you're pouring water in, and then when that's how stress fills up your cup, So when you pour water inside that cup, and then you have something to remove some of the water.
Like a straw.
Yes.
Okay.
then it means, or a tap, then it means if you pour water second time, it doesn't fill. It just fills the space, the water you have removed.
Okay.
But if there's nothing to remove the water, and you just keep filling it in, then you realize that it will fill and start overflowing. So that's when I realized I need to venture into some activities that can be relieving stress. So that if I have some stress today, half a glass or a quarter glass, I go to the gym, I eat well, I meet friends, that stress will reduce. So tomorrow when I get more stress,
at least
I'm at the same level, I'm not filling up. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is when I started to realize the psychology of controlling these circumstances. So for me, I do not say like nothing can trigger these things, but I've been able to control, not to allow me to reach that level where I will be triggered. Yes.
Now you've gone, at least now you've gone through this thing. You have the experience. You can see someone, the reaction. First sight, you can tell you that this guy is going through what I went through.
Now I can very easily tell, because like we said, you become extremely social. You start greeting everybody, strangers everywhere. That time, that begin to tell you this is the beginning.
So when you see somebody like me talking about I want to be president, you wonder this guy.
Those outrageous expressions, those are signals. Yes, and I would advise my friends, especially those who are in difficult careers like engineers, to always take it slowly. You know, slow time down. I always tell people in the morning when I'm leaving the house, we are with time.
Okay.
So I'm rushing to get out. If it is 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm getting out 6 a.m. in the morning. So me and time, we are pushing each other. We are getting out at 6. So we live together. Then when I leave my house, I tell time, now you go your way. I will come at my own pace. Let's meet in the evening when we are coming home. So like now, I am not under any pressure, you know. But when it becomes night, I will know I have to go home.
Yeah, you know how you have to go home.
But these 12 hours during the day, I'm always very flexible. But if you are just pressed with the time, you are working here and checking time. Oh, time is moving. No, let it go. You will meet later. So people need to calm down. Also, reduce expectations.
Okay.
Yes, some outrageous ambitions also shed them off, and do a lot of monitoring. You know, see how your mental health is performing, including seeing also practitioners, you know, and consulting with them. One time I went to see my psychiatrist in Nairobi Hospital just to thank him for what he did to me. And I found some forms that people fill to assess your mental health state. And I filled the form. I had recovered.
You filled again.
I filled the form, and it gives you scores, and I saw I'm okay. I did self-assessment those forms. So even any other normal person can go there anytime and ask for this form.
Is it paid? How much? Like, you know, somebody wants to, okay, like engineers said that you can go and assess yourself. How much? Do they charge?
I think the government should create opportunities for people to access these kind of services for free. Because many people are suffering in Kenya, and we don't have enough, and even the world, we don't have enough practitioners. So if there are online platforms even where such tools can be created and uploaded and for people to access, just to always do some check, like you go to check your weight.
You pay 10 bob.
Yeah, maybe the street you pay 10 bob, but this one you just pay bundles to access online, fill, and it gives you your status. These are things I can recommend, you know, to help.
Any other thing that you can say? Maybe you can add on what your experience and all that.
Yeah. So I went through mental health breakdown, as they say it.
Yeah.
And when you go to hospital, they diagnose and to see what was it. There are different types of mental health issues, and mine became this bipolar. And this bipolar is a strange one. It's something you can live with. I know very many professionals who live with it, but it needs a lot of control. I also know some of my friends who have it now, who they have not been able to get out.
They're still in it.
Yeah, they are being persecuted. They feel they are being tracked. Even they have to switch their phone off all the time. Yes, if they see any message from a stranger, like a number they have not saved, the brain begin to interpret like people are looking for you, you know, these kind of things.
Okay.
Yes, so it is really painful, it's torture, you see. So me, I will advise all my friends, the tips, and I'm writing a book about this, on practical tips for mental health management. First of all, what you eat is very important, because what goes to your stomach has impact on your brain. They say there's a big sympathy between brain and stomach. That's why when your stomach there's a problem, you feel headache. You understand?
Yeah.
So people should check what they eat, and plant-based diet, this is medicine. They say let medicine be your food and your food be medicine. Number 2, exercise. Okay, go to the gym, sweat. You will also have an opportunity to socialize in the gym.
In the gym.
There are events the gyms are organizing. This is good for you. You relax. You release those feel-good hormones. Okay. Also social life and avoiding stress as much as possible, and faith. Always allow God, His presence, His goodness to fill you every day, give you hope, so that your stress doesn't look like a big mountain to you. You understand?
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
So faith can help you overcome those kind of challenges. In my book, I have almost 10 chapters, and each of them has a tip, well explained, on what you can do practically to be able to keep at bay the mental health issues. So I know very many Kenyans are suffering. I know that we don't have enough resources in terms of doctors, facilities. This is an area that I would really urge even the government to take action in terms of increasing resources in our regions and doing more awareness. I am happy there's a lot of free webinars that are being conducted by professionals, even those professors at universities, and even different professional bodies are now having events where they can create awareness on mental health for their members. These are the things we encourage. And also to share when you have a problem. Men don't share.
Yeah, men don't share.
That is a big problem.
Yeah.
So I want to speak to the men wherever they are. Let's take the courage. This feeling that if you are emotional, you are not strong, it's a myth. Let men come out, and share freely, explain the situation they are going through so they can get help. Okay? So me, I'm open, I'm available for individuals and for groups who may want any talk on the same. And if there's anybody who even suspect if they are going through such things, we can help you, connect you to doctors. I'm not a doctor, but also from my experience, tell you what that could mean. And those who are already in this situation, who are struggling to get out, I called one of my friends who are going through, and I told them, these things you are feeling, persecution, and being tracked, they are not true. When you hear this from somebody you trust, you begin to believe, and then that helps you, in recovery. So there are very many things we can say about mental health. I believe we will be doing a lot of sessions, especially when our viewers can be able to reach out to us, ask questions, call, so that we can then deal with the questions as they come, so that we are more practical.
I think that one will can help us if we just have a live session, whereby maybe somebody who's watching and maybe asking question.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll work on that. My last question: what can you advise? Because I realize that in as much as maybe we have got professions who have professions who are going through this, there are also young people. In fact, a majority of the people who are using drugs are young people.
Yes.
And this calls for an alarm. What can you say?
Yes, there's a lot of desperation among our young people. And that is why I have volunteered to help the young people through mentorship. Because there are very many young people, and I said the other day at the KBC, Channel 1, that if something would go wrong with the young people, it will impact so many people. Because they are the majority right now. They are even the most educated. The Gen Zs, these guys are tech. Even our children now, even beyond the Gen Zs, they are really tech savvy. They have so much ideas, but there is nowhere to plug, this potential. So young people are going into drugs because of desperation. They are going into drugs because of disappointments, even in relationships, because they are at an age where they are setting foundation for their life. In terms of education, in terms of marriage, in terms of career. So this is a very vulnerable stage of their lives. And if they don't have enough support, then they begin to think of solutions. Just as I said, the brain always looks for a safe mode. A young person can think that drugs can help, at least lower this pain, numb the pain. You understand? So, and we need to create awareness that even despite the impacts that drugs may have on the mental health, even on the physical body. You know, drugs have a very negative impact on our bodies. So I think parenting, we need to focus on it. And I know there are many families where we don't have all parents. They are vulnerable children. And I was saying that in a good society, somebody should step in to support these kids who don't have parents, to train them, support them, give them good parenting. And also institutions like schools, churches, and NGOs and CBOs, we need to have these initiatives, you know, measuring on our young people. And also to say that we don't need to discriminate between men and women, you know, based on the basis of gender. You know, we know that in the Kenyan law, it is very clear that we are not supposed to discriminate against anybody because of their sex. And also, all of us should have equal access to opportunities, you know, and even now we are saying that in the appointive and elective positions, we should have at least not more than two-thirds, you know, being of the same gender. So we should also embrace all, both men and women, boys and girls, in our activities that we are doing, targeting a mentorship, you know, to be able to create a safe space for these young people to ask questions, and also people who they can align with to help them grow. Yes.
Maybe your last statement as we wind up.
Yeah. First of all, I really want to thank you for having me. This is a very important topic, and we will be talking a lot about it. You know, when you go through something, I'm working on a book. It's called The Road Back.
When are these books coming out?
This book is coming. The Road Back is the one that is coming out in another 3 weeks or so. Then the mental health one will come maybe a month or two later. But in this book, we are talking of somebody who has found himself down, like I was. You know, so how do you pick yourself to come again now to the lighthouse where I am now?
Where you are.
Where now I can now be the light for those who are still in the valley, you know, you get. So what I can say that I am out there to be the lighthouse, you know, and I will continue to lobby, you know, for more resources to be deployed in mental health in our country, and also for people to take initiative to support those who are in a mental health condition, to avoid stigma, you know, to support instead of criticizing, you know, and not to think that it is witchcraft. You understand? So what we need here is more enlightenment. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
That is Hosea 4:6.
Exactly. And that is now what we want right now, to create awareness, sensitization, so that people can be aware. And then when you are aware, then you can be able to own this issue, and then be able to build a roadmap, you know, on how you can then travel this journey. And despite the challenges in the journey, there are people like me who are willing to stand with you as we also show you, shine our light on you from your dark valley.
Maybe the way, maybe let's say somebody wants to reach you, maybe your email or maybe.
Yes, I'm
pages.
always open. I've never started restricting my contacts. So on email is just onungajuma@gmail.com. I'm also there on TikTok. I usually post there. Just Ruben Onunga Practical Life. On Facebook, Ruben Onunga. And also you can just call me on phone or send me text or WhatsApp on 0721 560 506. Yes.
I think I'll put the details down at the comment section so that maybe after someone has watched,
yes, no problem.
Yeah, they can reach out.
And especially if it is possible to meet people as a group, so that we can help many people on any single city.
Yes. That's good. I just want to appreciate. I just want to say thank you very much. You know, the moment I saw this and I said that we need to do this, and you're very much open.
See, now it's in the standard.
Yeah, it is in the standard.
People can read it.
Or page 8.
And even later, there was also other people coming on the TV talking about it, and I encourage all those people who are living with these conditions to come on and share your life. Make it a testimony. God will reward you.
I think if it is possible, let us just pray that one day we'll just organize for those people who are still going through it and those who have gone and come out of it.
Yes.
At least so that people can share, just have a session of sharing this.
And we also invite doctors.
And also invite doctors.
Not a doctor, so the doctor can explain using my story.
Yeah.
And also give proper guidance on the solution.
Yeah. Now, if you really want to know more about the story that we've talked about, go to Standard. Standard is on page 8.
Health pull out page 8.
Yeah, health pull out page 8. This is let me show you. This is it. If you really want to see it, you can just zoom it for them to see.
So this was on Monday.
This was on Monday. This week, Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you really want to know more, you can go here and then you can read the Standard page 8. The engineer have really shared what he went through. Maybe you're going through that and you don't know how to come out of it. You can contact him so that he can give you an enlightenment on how, on what happened and how he's. This is him. This is engineer.
Yeah, this is a photo of me in Mozambique working as an engineer.
In Mozambique.
Then there's also a doctor's commentary added to this story, so that to make it more authentic.
Yeah, to make it more authentic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is Monday, May 26th.
May 26th.
Standard.
Yeah. Engineer, thank you very much. Really appreciate you for your time.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And all the best. You're doing a good job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we are here also to support you.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
After all, guys, that is all we have for today. And one thing I can say that please don't forget, don't leave this session without subscribing to this channel. If you are a newcomer, as I normally say that feedback is normally the key thing in any form of communication. You can tell me what you think at the comment section and also subscribe so that we can reach, I say that it is my prayer that we reach 10,000 before the end of this month or maybe before 10th of next month. And I really appreciate those who have subscribed, those who have already joined this group, this family. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Asante sana. Until we meet again in the next video if it is possible, I have been your host, Boniface. Bye-bye.